form, exploring vertex forms. You should have that packet in front of you, the one that does not say homework. Okay, so we're going to start with, on your graphing calculator, we're going to graph this function. So let's pull out our graphing calculator. Talk about using the calculator a little bit more. Okay, so if you start here at this home screen, you can go down to B to graph. Okay. Home screen, hit B, and then we can graph. Okay, it'll have X, F1X. Please stop talking while I'm talking. And we're going to graph X, and then push the squared button, which is right next to number 4. Okay? So you hit X, right down at the bottom. Then you hit squared, which is right next to number 4. Okay, if you get a page where you don't have that thing, if you just take your little cursor, right? You're with me?
Yes.
Double click. Comes up.
X minus F squared.
Oh, okay.
Shh. I'm going to state this again, but this is on your paper in front of you. You're supposed to graph f of x equals x squared. If we're at the home screen, we hit B for graph. If nothing is coming up so you can't enter anything, double click with your cursor in the middle, and you're going to hit X, which is the white key at the bottom, very bottom of your calculator, and squared, which is right next to number 4. Okay? Using this information and what you know already, what is the vertex? If I was going to cut my graph in half, what would be the line of symmetry it would cut at? It would be at 0, but we're cutting it. So if I'm cutting this way, right, because this is how it has, this is going to be in half, we're going to say x equals 0. It's always the x value of the vertex, and it's always x equals. Okay, does my graph open up or down? Okay. I am going to always leave x squared in my calculator. You do not have to. Okay, you could delete it if you want to, but I like to compare them. Now I'm going to put this second one, number 2 here, where I'm going to put parentheses, x minus 3, end parentheses, squared plus 4. Okay, ready?
No.
Bring it here, Grace. Okay. Once you have this on, typed in, hit enter, and it'll show up.
Like I put the first one in, but then I don't have f of x equals 2.
Hit double click the middle. Like if it's nothing's coming up, like right here, I don't have anything. Do you see that? I just double click in the middle and something pops up.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm gonna figure out by hitting menu, trace. I want to trace the red right here. I'm going to trace F2.
What do you say you have to do? Click trace?
So I want to make sure I'm clicked on F2, hit menu, trace, graph trace. I don't want this one though. How do I move to the next one? Let me see. So it might help if you don't actually have it on there. I like to compare them, but okay. So quiet, please. So I'm going to trace down here until I get the very bottom to figure out that my vertex, see how my vertex right here is 3, 4? It's at the very bottom. I can move this out of the way too so you guys can see.
You need the other graph to
You do not. Like, I found that it was very difficult to,
How did you delete yours?
oh, how did I delete mine? Okay. So I double clicked in the middle. I went up, and I just unclicked this button.
Why is it so big?
So I'm going to do something real quick because this is causing lots of problems. See if I can help a little bit better. So bear with me a second. So if you have not graphed the second one, do that. Then I would like you to try to answer the questions. What's the vertex? Is it opening up or down?
What did you do after you click the trace button?
The trace button, you can just move it around. Here, this is what I would do.
So for like that one.
Okay, so I am opening up the TI Inspire software, and then I think I can do something a little different so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing on my calculator instead of looking through the Elmo, if it works. But you should be trying number 2 right now, trying to answer all those questions.
Oh, so maybe not.
I should not be able to hear your, remember this is being recorded. Should not be able to hear your music. Okay, so this should make it a little bit easier. This is my calculator, so I'm going to go through and do number 2. So first I'm opening a graph page, and if you look, guys, if what the the letters on the calculator show up in red, tell you what I've just hit. So I've got this open. Okay, I've got my graph typed in here. I'm going to hit menu, 5, trace. And I can see what my vertex is. So my vertex is right there at 3, 4. So you've got to move it around a little bit, but you want to get the very bottom. Okay? Now my line of symmetry is going to be x equals 3. Does the graph open up or down? Okay, so this is where I like to have my other graph in there. So first I'm going to grab my graph like this, and I want it moved so I can see the bottom of my axis right here. Okay? So watch what I'm doing. So I literally grab like this, and I can move it up.
Like mine keeps going to like 0, 13 when I trace mine.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to make sure I have x2 on there. Shh. If you look at my paper right there, like look at the board, see how it's recording? It shows you what button I just pushed and what's on my screen. So if you could calm down for a second and just look at what I'm doing up here. Instead of making it on your screen, just look for a second what's up on the board. Okay. Now, do you guys see right here how my vertex moved from here to here? Okay. How much do you think I moved right or left? Which way did I move first, from the blue to the red? I moved right. How far do you think I moved?
3.
Good. All right. From the blue to the red, did I go up or down? How far? 4. Good. All right. Do you think the blue or the red is wider or skinnier or the same?
Same.
Same.
Wait, for E, did you get up 4 spaces?
Yes.
And then for B, did you get right 4 spaces?
I got right 3 spaces. So let's look. See, here's 0, and I went over 1, 2, 3. Do you see how that's right here, my vertex? Yeah. Okay. So I am going to, let's say you guys just have on there the x squared. I'm going to put on number 3. So I type in negative. You guys doing this with me? Okay, let's try this again. Remember, if you want yours to pop up, you just hit the bottom. We're going to delete f of 2x, and I'm going to put in here negative, parentheses, x plus 2, end parentheses, squared plus 6. How are we feeling?
You have to have the original, like the blue one.
No. It's easier to see if it moved right, left, up, or down, but you do not have to.
Mine keeps, I just tried a different calculator and it keeps going to like 0, 13.
Okay.
It's not tracing right.
All right, I'm going to hit enter. Yours should look like this. Okay. Looking at that red parabola. Okay. What do I think the vertex is? Without tracing it, what do you think this top part right here is?
Vertex.
Where it very hits it. What numbers do you think it is?
Negative 2, 5.
Negative 2 ends.
5.
Let's see. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's at 6.
Yep.
Okay. What would the line of symmetry there be? Where could I take it and cut it right down the middle of the red one? X equals negative 2, yep. Is it opening up or down?
I mean,
It's opening down, you're good. Okay, how far did this move right or left? Which way did it move first, right or left?
Left.
How much do you think it was left? 2, good. Did it move up or down? Up, good. See how the vertex is above it? I know it's facing down, but the vertex is above it. Up how much? 6, good. Is it wider, skinnier, or the same? I think it's the same.
Why do you think it's the same?
Well, this is one of the reasons why I don't think it's the same. See how x squared does not have an a value? Does this have a number in front of those parentheses?
No.
No, it does not have an a. So I think it stayed the same. Also, if I were to, like, take this, even if you use, like, your hand, and just were to flip it over, I think they're the same.
What's the vertex?
Vertex is right here, right at the very top. So I think that I went over 2 and up 6.
So it'd be -2.
What was the line of symmetry?
The line of symmetry is always the x value of the vertex. Okay, so I want you guys to do the rest on here. I'm going to pause for just a second. I want you guys to look at number 6 before I let you do the rest of this. Let's look at number 6. Number 6 asks me to put it in this form. Given this graph, rate the function. So if we're looking at number 6, maybe A might be a little bit hard. So I'm going to leave some space where A would go. What is the rest of it? How would I figure that out? How am I going to figure out what H and K are? How do I figure out? So if we look at number 2, see those numbers? We got -3 and 4 right there. The vertex became 3 and 4. So when I look right here, what do I think this vertex is right here? So where did I start to repeat?
4 and 3.
4 and 3, right? So I think it's going to be x minus 4 squared plus 3. And then I've got to decide, does this look wider or skinnier than x squared? I think it's the same, so I'm just going to leave it like that. This is just your idea. So you guys definitely need to get through 4 and 5 because you need your graphing calculator for this before you leave. And then 6, 7, and 8, if you don't finish it in class, 6, 7, 8, and 9, you can finish that at home. And then you've got your homework where you're just answering some basic questions about this. Okay? So this is what is due tomorrow.
Both of them.
Both of them. Finished. Yes. Okay. So that's what you're supposed to do, 3 and 5.